Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, listeners, we cross to Brother Ali and Ali Sadun. Ali, under the pen name of Harun Yahya Adnan Ukhtar around the globe, and exerting considerable influence on both Muslims and his works. It's available with 50 million people since 2009, and Atlas of Creation available in discussed in the European Council and for the last 4 years, and the parliaments of European countries. He was declared by Reuters poll as the most influential. He was declared as the most influential Muslim in the world by 2 million votes in 2009. We're going to be, inshallah al-Aziz, talking to Brother Ali Sadun, who's Harun Yahya and Brother Ali Sadun. They have dedicated their lives to telling of the existence and the oneness of Almighty Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, and also to disseminating the more. Really an honor to speak to them, inshallah. Introduction regarding him. Ali Sadun Engin studied economics and social politics at one of the universities in Istanbul, and he joined in the year 1993. And since 2001, he has taken part in many activities representing Harun Yahya, including more than 1,500 conferences and symposiums in more than 15 different countries. And he's also given addresses at world-famous universities such as the Oxford, Cambridge and the MIT, which are dominated by Darwinist and atheist thinking. And the conferences he held, particularly those in more than 10 cities in France, most notably Paris, dear listeners, were described as French Times for Harun Yahya by such media organizations as Le Monde, Slate magazine and also the Reuters. And the speaker, mashallah, has held Harun Yahya conferences in English and French, as well as programs debating the theory of evolution on Turkish national channels. Alhamdulillah, he's still active as a Turkish and English language producer of the Proofs of Creation and the End Times programs on Channel A9. We like to welcome our special guest on Radio Islam International tonight, and that is Brother Ali Sadun Engin. Brother Ali, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to you, and welcome to our airwaves on Radio Islam International here in South Africa, Ali.
Alaikum salam, dear brothers. First of all, I would like to say Ramadan Mubarak to all of our Muslim brothers and sisters. So it's a great pleasure to talk to you again. MashaAllah.
Jazakumullah, Ramadan Mubarak to you as well, my brother. Really, I repeat, it's an honor to speak to you on Radio Islam International here in South Africa. Jazakumullah for accepting the invitation.
The honor is ours. The honor is ours, mashallah.
Jazakumullah. We're going to be talking about different aspects, inshallah, talking about the coming of Dajjal, etc., about the economic system as well. And let's first start with regards to what is happening out recently. There happen unbelievable disasters recently. There are hurricanes, tsunamis that hit United States of America, also earthquakes. They're becoming. You evaluate these disasters from the end of times point of view.
MashaAllah, first of all many hadith that there's experiencing the end times. Now, I'll give you some of the that you're going to see, inshallah. We are clearly, without any doubt, we are experiencing the end times. Like, for example, one of those is related from Ash-Sharani, Muqtazar Tazkira al-Qurtubi, page 253. Our Prophet ﷺ states, "The hour will not come until there has been rain which destroy all dwellings." So our Prophet points out to severe floods. It's going to happen in the end times. And also our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ made his prophecies, and he explained about the destruction of great cities. And this is related from Al-Muttaqi al-Hindi. In the book, Al-Burhan fi Alamat al-Mahdi, page 38, it is stated, great cities will be ruined, and it will be as if they had not existed the day before. MashaAllah. The destruction of the great cities by severe floods and that kind of earthquakes, natural disasters, it is clearly explained in the hadith of our Prophet ﷺ. Our Prophet stated, if they had not existed the day before, so the destruction is so huge that it is a clear sign for the end times. Another hadith, mashallah, is the hour, the day of judgment, will not be established until earthquakes will be very frequent. So this is a hadith from Ramuz al-Hadith, page 476, page number 100. There are two great events before the day of judgment. MashaAllah, again in this hadith, where we see that our Prophet said that there are going to be many earthquakes. And of course, there is another hadith which is pointing out to the the hadith is like this: lightning will so multiply as doomsday approaches that people will say to one another, who was struck by lightning yesterday? And they will answer, lightning struck this and that person yesterday. So that kind of disasters, natural disasters, are going to be so frequent, inshallah. Our Prophet ﷺ stated 14 centuries ago, and mashallah, these hadiths are clearly proving us that we're experiencing the end times, mashallah.
All right, my brother, Jazakumullah for the beautiful explanation. We see these happening all the time, tsunamis and what have you. Allah make it easy. And like I was saying, that these disasters are pointing out towards the end of times. Let's take it further. Current news also, Brother Ali. How do you evaluate the recent uprisings in the Middle East? The leaders are killing the people with cold blood. Thousands of people are killed. Are these uprisings, would this be the signs of the end times also?
Well, surely yes, mashallah. There are many different hadiths that Prophet Muhammad mentioned 14 centuries ago. And these hadiths are describing the end times in a very detailed manner. I mean, there is no one by one. We are witnessing that all of them, one by one, are fulfilling, mashallah. It's coming examples of the hadith. For example, there are, our Prophet ﷺ, he talked about the destruction of great cities, like the uprising in the Middle East, like the recent incidents that happened in North Africa. Our Prophet stated, great cities will be ruined, and it will be as if they had no existence the day before. So this is one hadith. Another hadith is about the global pervasiveness of disorder and conflict. So our Prophet stated, there's going to be a disorder and conflict in the end times. He stated, at a time when the world will be in utter confusion and disorder, appear. When roads will be cut, some will attack some others. This is raised from Al-Muttaqi al-Hindi. Al-Burhan, the book's name is Al-Burhan fi Alamat al-Mahdi Akhir Zaman, page 12. MashaAllah. And there's going to be a rise in killings, he stated, 14 centuries ago. MashaAllah, he stated, the hour, last day, will not be established until murders increase. And this is raised from Sahih Bukhari. MashaAllah. And of course, there are many others, like the widespread slaughter before the coming of Messiah and the killing of the innocent, for example, which is very interesting. A hadith written by our Prophet ﷺ is like this: Hadith Messiah will not appear until innocent people are killed. And another one is forbidding things being regarded as lawful. As you know, killing people, murdering people, it's haram. You cannot do this. It's unlawful. Yeah. But in the end times, forbidden things will be regarded as lawful. And this is written from our Prophet. This is foretold by our Prophet ﷺ. He stated, Hazrat Messiah will emerge after the appearance of such wild corruption, whereby all prohibitions are regarded as lawful. This is written from Al-Haytami Al-Kawa Al-Muqtadar, Fi Alamat Al-Mahdi Al-Muntazar, page 23. And our Prophet stated that there's going to be killing for no reason. Now, Abu Hurairah related. Our Prophet ﷺ said that people will see such days that the killer will not know why he killed, nor the innocent why they are slain. So these hadiths, mashallah, they are miraculous. So our Prophet ﷺ, 14 centuries ago, miraculously explained what is going to happen in the end times. And those hadiths are fulfilling one by one. And another hadith says, in another hadith, the judgment day will not come unless one murders her brother or sister. So there's going to be this incident, which is very important. Murder between the brothers and sisters are going to happen, our Prophet stated. And of course, there are going to be troubles besetting Muslims, our Prophet stated. And no Muslim who is untouched by it, our Prophet ﷺ stated. This will continue until a rajul, a man of gnosis and illumination, from my lineage appears. So this is related from Al-Muttaqi Al-Hindi, mashallah. So these are the hadith that is pointing out to a group by one, mashallah.
Okay. Jazakumullah, Brother Ali, for the deep insight as well. You know, you mentioned the hadith very, very clearly. The killers will not know why they are killing, and the killed will not know why they were being killed as well. Subhanallah, we see these unfolding just before, right before our eyes. Now, Brother Ali, you referred to a kitab, Alamat al-Mahdi. Now, in mention there is a hadith of our beloved Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam that then the corruption will persist until the coming of a Ruk in Egypt. You know, it is mentioned in that kitab you were mentioned with regards to Alamat al-Mahdi Akhir. Who is the referred here?
Okay, so from the hadith of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we understand that it is clearly Husn Mubarak. Allahu Alam states. And we say Allah knows the best. But when we analyze the hadith, we're going to see that our Prophet pointed out to Husn Mubarak. I will explain. First, let me read from the hadith. Naim ibn Hamad narrated in Al-Fitan, Abu al-Asqar, from Muhammad ibn Ali, that he said, a star the shape of a horn will appear in the east when a Basit comes to Khorasan. The birth of that star will be after the eclipse of the sun and moon. Then the corruption will persist until the coming of a Ruk in Egypt. Okay, so our Prophet ﷺ reports that the individual will live at a time of corruption, and when two-headed comet is seen. So what is this two-headed comet? It is the comet which is, its name is Zulun. This comet in question approached closest to the earth in February 2009. So in that respect, it is clear that the hadith is referring to our own day, mashallah. So our Prophet ﷺ metaphor of a Ruk appearing in Egypt is completely compatible with Husn Mubarak. Why? Because when we look at his picture, we can see that his hair, the shape of his eyes, his facial expression, and the nature of his lips and nose. When you pay close attention, when you look closer to his picture, Husn Mubarak bears a close resemblance to a Ruk. So these are, mashallah, great evidences. And he has a flattened nose as well. It is mentioned in the hadith again. It is very interesting. Let me read from the hadith.
Yeah.
Daylami related from Abu al-Mardani, and he from Abu Zar, and he from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The nose will emerge from the Quraysh in Egypt. He will be defeated, and he will flee to Rome. MashaAllah, these details miraculously points out to Husn Mubarak. He will bring them to Alexandria. It continues in the hadith. He will bring them to Alexandria, and he will fight against Muslims. This is rated from Al-Muttaqi Al-Hindi, Al-Burhan fi Alamat al-Mahdi Akhir Zaman. So this is when you pay close attention to Husn Mubarak's nose, is visibly flattened, mashallah, just as described in the hadith. And in another hadith, I have to continue because these hadiths are amazing miracles for the incidents that happened recently. A tyrannical Egyptian a member of the Makhzum tribe will assume the leadership. And after him, Mawla will come, and after him, a tall, powerful, broad-shouldered one from the Arabs who destroys those who oppose him will govern. MashaAllah. So each of these details in the hadith is in complete agreement with the Ibn Mubarak. For example, Ibn Mubarak had being of tall stature.
Yeah.
And he's got, himself is also tall, is described in the hadith. And the characteristic cited in the hadith is that the person will destroy those who oppose him.
Yeah.
As you know, he destroyed everyone who opposed him. And so throughout his years as the head of state, Mubarak is known as the last pharaoh. That was, you can read it in many newspapers. So because of his dictatorial regime and oppression, especially of Muslims. So our Prophet also refers to his person being physically powerful and broad-shouldered, with both his own military experience and also his 25,000 person army. Mubarak appears to be a powerful and is visibly physically strong and broad-shouldered. If you look his footage in the news, in the television, you're going to see that he's a broad-shouldered and strong person.
Okay.
So all these details, minor details, mashallah, stated by our Prophet ﷺ, it points out to Ibn Mubarak. Of course, we say, Allahu alim, yani, inshallah, Allah knows the best.
Jazakumullah. Yes, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala knows best. Let's take it further. Very interesting as well. You know, Brother Ali, it is as if the Antichrist or Dajjal is using all his means to make the Christians, the Jews and the Muslims fight each other and cause one another's bloodshed. How will the mischief of Dajjal and Antichrist and how will the world be saved from his evil?
Well, there are some precautions still be taking, for example, for the hunger, or for the disasters or corruptions going around the world, especially in the Islamic world. And if all these precautions taking other than the unity Islamic Union, is going to be a time loss. For example, people are donating money, and this money is going to go as food. It provides food and nutrition for the needy people. But the day after, what's going to happen? The system is there. The system of the Dajjal is there. So it should be intellectually collapsed. So it is the only way to refute that ideology, and the only solution for all these troubles going around the world is Islamic unity. Nothing else. Inshallah. Islamic Union is very important, and it is a reality that will happen in the future, because Allah stated in the Holy Quran about this. Inshallah, the dominion of the Quranic morality will prevail in the world, inshallah. So the only solution now, today, is the Islamic Union. Nothing else, inshallah.
Inshallah. Let's take it further, talking about the Islamic Union. Something very interesting, inshallah. Allah unite all the Muslimin on one kalima, that is the kalima La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Also, Brother Ali, Harun Yahya emphasizes the importance of the establishment of Islamic Union. How the world will be if this Islam Union is established, Ali?
Well, Islamic Union is the greatest thing of the end times, mashallah. Every Islamic country and non-Islamic as well is going to, some of them are going to come together, and through Islamic Union will revive commerce and strengthen the economy. First of all, there's going to be a huge wealth, mashallah. Another result of the Turkish Islamic Union will be it is going to bring happiness, well-being, peace, and plenty, mashallah. So, other than Islamic Union, none of these is going to be established. On the other hand, so every ideology Every belief system is going to be democratically, they're going to have the right to talk, inshallah, to educate. For example, even the Darwinists are going to talk, but of course, we are going to explain the creation, inshallah. We're going to refute the Darwinistic idea and atheistic ideologies. And there's going to be a perfect freedom of thought and freedom of expression, inshallah. And this is going to be under the guarantee of the Turkish Islamic Union. And every nation's unity is going to be protected, inshallah. And the borders are going to be protected. But people are going to be free to go around, mashallah, freely. In perfect protection, they're going to be under protection. And nobody will touch them. There's going to be no oppression in the Islamic Union, inshallah. And the Turkish Islamic Union will bring a total solution to the problem of terror, inshallah. The terror, as you know, its ideologic background is Darwinism and atheism. If you clear away the Darwinist and atheistic ideologies, the terror will collapse. Because a terrorist is a person who doesn't feel the responsibility, who doesn't fear Allah, who doesn't have the responsibility, so he thinks that he can do anything because he doesn't know that he's going to be answering to Allah when he dies. So that kind of people to do anything. They will feel no responsibility. So when atheism and Darwinism is refuted through rational and scientific methods, inshallah, product of Dajjal, and the belief system of Dajjal produces terror, inshallah. So this system can only be collapsed by precautions, or oppression, military oppression, will not stop terror whatsoever. So the only solution to terror is the Turkish Islamic Union will bring freedom and happiness to people of the book as well. So their rights, their freedom of thought and their freedom of believing in their religion is going to be protected as well. And of course, more important than any other thing is that Turkish Islamic Union is a solution to the sufferings of the Muslims. Muslims all around the world, locations, Muslims are oppressed, they are suffering. So inshallah this is going to be over. And the Turkish the Islamic Union is supported by many countries, like Iran is supporting Islamic Union. The United States Union. Everybody wants it. Everybody will embrace the Turkish Islamic Union, inshallah. And of course, it is a must against the oppression in the world. Other than that, no any other solution is going to work by the will of Allah.
All right, Jazakumullah, very interesting. Talking about the Islamic Union, are there any ayats, Brother Ali? Maybe ask you any verses of the Quran Kareem about the Islamic Union at the end times?
Yes, one of the key ayat, verse, Quranic verse in the Quran is the 55th verse in Surah An-Nur. Let me recite from the Holy Quran. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allah has promised those of you who believe and do right actions that He will make them successors in the land. So Allah states, the Muslims who do right actions, Allah will make Muslims successors in the land. What does it mean, successors in the land? That Muslims are going to be ruling, dominating, of course with love, compassion, mercy, but with brotherhood. Inshallah, this is stated in this verse, and Allah continues, as He made those before them successors. So Allah gives us this information that Muslims before us, they have been successors as well. So Allah continues in the same verse, and will firmly establish for them their religion with which He is pleased, and give them in place of their fear, security. Allah states that if they do right actions, inshallah, In place of our fear, Allah will give security. And Allah continues, they worship me, not associating anything with me. So this is a clear order from Allah that Muslims, they should not associate anything with Allah. Jalla Jalaluhu. And Allah continues, and who are unbelievers after that, such people are deviators. Another, this is very interesting that when you analyze the words, He will make them successors in the land. So those 6, 7 words, if you analyze them, their numerological analysis will give you 2013 in Gregorian calendar. So that points out to a very meaningful year, 2013, mashallah. Of course, Allahu Alam, Allah knows the best.
All right,
and mashallah. And there are many verses as well. In Surah As-Saffat, verse number 171 and 173, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu states, our word was given before to our servants, the messengers, that they would certainly be helped. It is our army which will be victorious. MashaAllah, Allah clearly states here, it is our army which will be victorious. In another surah, Allah states, Allah has written, I will be victorious, and I and my messengers, inshallah. And there are other verses as well pointing out to the Islamic Union. It is He who sent His messenger with guidance and the religion of truth to exalt it over every other religion, though the associators hate it. This is Surah As-Saf, verse number 9. So when you analyze the word, the religion of truth to exalt it over every other religion, its numerological analysis is 2021, mashallah. So it's very meaningful. So can I continue, brother? Because
yes,
I
go
have
ahead. It's quite interesting, mashallah. You go ahead.
Regarding this important event, inshallah, for the end times.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Another verse is like this. It is, okay, inshallah. It is He who sent His messenger with the guidance and the religion of truth to exalt it over every other religion, inshallah. Another verse is, it is He who sent His messenger with guidance, the religion of the truth, to exalt it over every other religion.
Yeah.
As I repeated, let me give the number about it. Neurological analysis in Islamic calendar,
yeah.
It is 1444, mashallah.
Okay.
Inshallah, ayah, which is, we desire to show nations will be cut, he stated. And more than that, another hadith, the next part of the hadith says that these problems will come to an end in the end times, with the Islamic Union, inshallah. We came to seek that person by whose hand strife will be extinguished, inshallah. And in another hadith, the market decrease in earnings. A decrease in earnings, which of course points out to an economical crisis. And everyone complaining of low earnings. The rich respected for their money. So this is written from Muhammad ibn Abdul Rasul Barzanji, mashallah. So again, these are clear evidences that inshallah that the Islamic Union is coming, inshallah, and after this period of economic crisis, which is going to take like 7 years, and it's going to end, inshallah, according to the hadith of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's going to end on 2014. And after this, inshallah, the Islamic Union will be established, and all these economic problems will be over, inshallah. And another hadith regarding the economic crisis is business being stagnant. In the hadith, everyone will complain, I cannot sell, buy, or earn anything. Clearly pointing out to the economical crisis in our time, inshallah.
Inshallah. Jazakumullah, we can't further. We have just about another 2 or 3 questions before we terminate the program. Now, in the interviews, Brother Ali Harun Yahya granted to foreign press, we notice that he always mentioned that Christians has the Pope, Jews alike has a leader, but the Islamic world does not. Now we're talking about Hazrat Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, who will be the leader of the Islamic world that the Muslims have been waiting for so long. Would you like to remind us with regards to the role of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam in uniting the Muslims and resolution of the conflicts amongst members of the different religions?
Inshallah. Of course, the personality of Mahdi alayhi salam, we are going to understand about who is Mahdi alayhi salam, about the actions and the success he's going to establish. And he's going to unite with Isa alayhi salam, inshallah, and form Islamic Union. And Isa alayhi salam will pray behind him. So Mahdi alayhi salam will lead the prayer in Jerusalem, inshallah. And after establishing Islamic Union. So inshallah, at that time we are going to say, most probably, Allahu Alam, Allah knows the best, that this might be Mahdi alayhi salam. So his role, inshallah, is going to unite the Islamic world, and he's going to restore Islam to its original state, like it has been experienced and lived, like and his role is refuting the atheistic ideology. Going to be established, we're going to understand that this is Mahdi alayhi salam. And he's, most important of all, he's not drop a single drop of blood. So let me read you from the hadith. He will fill the world that was once full of cruelty with justice. His justice will be as such that he will not wake a sleeping person. So we understand that he will be operating, inshallah. He will not wake a sleeping person, mashallah, or even shed one drop of blood. There is no wars, no oppression whatsoever, perfect brotherhood, perfect freedom of thought and belief. The earth will return to the age of bliss. MashaAllah, this is related from Ibn Hajar al-Haytami, Al-Qawl al-Muqtazar fi Alamat al-Mahdi al-Muntazar, page 29. And in a hadith, a prophet taught about Mahdi alayhi salam, his personality of being compassionate. In the hadith it is stated, they will swear allegiance to him between the corner and the maqam. Hazrat Mehdi will be so compassionate that no one will be woken up from their sleep or have a bleeding nose. And this is again related from Ibn Hajar al-Haytami. So, mashallah, his role is, inshallah.
Right, Jazakumullah. Let's take it further. Our last question, maybe our last question for the program, Brother Ali. The emergence of the Mahdi. Would you maybe like to outline to us the signs of the Mahdi? Where will the Mahdi emerge from in the end times? And a few ayat regarding this.
There are many major important signs that clearly shows us, the exact time when it's going to appear. For example, stopping of the water, the flow of the water of the Euphrates. There's a river which is called the Euphrates in Turkey, as you know. The waters of Euphrates were stopped for the first time in Hijri 1400. So there's a dam in Turkey which is called the Keban, and it's high, and it was stopped by this dam. And it is in the Hadith, inshallah. Another sign for he's going to appear in Istanbul, inshallah. And another sign is Iran-Iraq war, inshallah, because as you know, in Hijri 1400, the Iran-Iraq war effectively began in October of that year. And in the Hadith, it is very interestingly stated by a prophet, there will be the tumult in Shawwal, the 10th Islamic month, the 11th Islamic month, and the outbreak, inshallah. This is related from Al-Barzanji. And another sign is the occupation of Afghanistan. In the Hadith, our Prophet stated, pity poor Taliban. Taliban is a region in Afghanistan. At that place are treasures of Allah. These are not of gold and silver, but consist of people who have recognized Allah as they should have. They are Hazrat Mehdi alayhi salam followers. So this is related from Al-Mustaki al-Hindi. So the occupation of Afghanistan, when our Prophet said pity for Taliban, he points out that the occupation of Afghanistan, the Hadith indicates that Afghanistan will be occupied in their times, inshallah. And of course, from the history, we know that Russia invaded Afghanistan in 1979, or it is Hijri 1400s. So that's another sign. Another sign is the Halley comet. Halley, this comet has passed. It appeared on 1986 in Hijri 1406, inshallah. In the Hadith, Prophet stated, a star with a luminous tail will rise from the east before Hazrat Mehdi emerges. So, this Halley's comet appeared in 1986, and it's a sign for the appearance of Mehdi. And there is a sighting at flare in the east, and that happened in 1991, inshallah. And very interesting, solar and lunar eclipses during Ramadan. Our Prophet stated there will be 2 solar eclipses in Ramadan before Hazrat Mehdi advanced. So this is related from Ash-Sharani. And eclipses of the sun and moon, it is very important. The same month of Ramadan took place in 1981 and 1982. And moon eclipses happened. So this is Hijri 1400, just as it is stated in the Hadith. So it's a clear sign about the coming of Mehdi alayhi salam. And storming the Kaaba and the subsequent bloodshed, so this is another sign. The storming of the Kaaba took place on the 1st of Muharram 1400. The first day of Hijri 1400, the beginning of the period when many other portents of the coming of Hazrat Mehdi alayhi salam would also take place. So there are more, I can tell you, 10 different signs like this. Let me tell you one by one. a corruption of smoke and dust in 2001. Corruptions, fitna, will follow one another in the near future. Then there will be other corruptions and even more following them. So this is from Al-Muttaqi al-Hindi. This is a hadith about the destruction of Baghdad by flames in year 2003. As you know, Baghdad is destroyed by fire, inshallah. The vanishing of the Iraqi army in the desert. This is very interesting as well. In the hadith, our Prophet stated, an army comes to fight. Once they enter the desert, the one in the front and the back disappear. And the ones in the middle cannot save themselves. So this is from Tirmidhi. And 60,000 member units of the Iraqi army, they were known as the Republican Guard, and another 15,000 member units known as the Fedayeen, they just disappeared. Amazing. So this is one incident that happened. It just matches with what our Prophet ﷺ stated in Hadith. And division of Iraq into three, as you know, Iraq divided into three in the year 2003. And of course, a very important sign is the emergence of a two-tailed comet. It is the comet Lulin. It came in February 2009. And in the hadith, it is stated like, when Abbasi Malik arrives at Khorasan, one of the signs of the coming of the promised Mehdi, a double appear in the east. So I repeat, double-toothed, light-shedding horn. So this is, when you analyze this comet Lulin, when you look at this picture, you're going to see that it has got two different horns facing to east and to west. So it is just as it is described in the hadith, mashallah. So that's another important sign. And of course, the increase in the number of the earthquakes is another sign of the coming of Mehdi. And asteroids increasingly surrounding the earth is another sign for the coming of Mehdi. When you analyze, millions of asteroids first began concentrating so densely in the Earth's atmosphere toward the end of 1980. So astronomers took many pictures and they make footages. So we have understand scientifically that especially on 1980, millions of asteroids increasingly started to surround the Earth, inshallah.
Inshallah. Brother,
so these are the first signs, inshallah, that I can mention about the coming of Mehdi alayhi salam.
Okay, Jazakumullah, very, very interesting discussion.
Yeah, mashallah, and I think you have asked the place where exactly Mehdi is going to emerge, right?
Yeah.
Okay, inshallah, what we understand from the hadith is that he's going to emerge from Istanbul, Constantinople. It is stated again very clearly in the hadith. I can read you the hadith about this. Our Prophet ﷺ stated, they will spiritually conquer Constantinople with tasbih and takbir, and they will obtain booty the like of which has never been seen. So it is written from Ibn Majah. So in Kitab al-Fitan, page number 35. So we understand that Hazrat Mehdi will spiritually capture Istanbul and produce the sacred relics of our Prophet ﷺ from Istanbul, where they lie. As you know, in the palace in Istanbul, in Topkapı Palace, the sacred relics of our Prophet ﷺ is kept, inshallah. So, very miraculously, our Prophet, 14 centuries ago, said that the sacred relics are going to be taken by Hazrat Mehdi. In the hadith, related from Al-Barzanji, let me read you the hadith. In terms of portents, he will bear the shirt, sword, and banner of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That banner has never to this day been opened since the passing away of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. it will never be opened until the appearance of Hazrat Mehdi alayhi salam. So this is a hadith from our Prophet, and it clearly says that Mehdi alayhi salam is going to wear the shirt and take the sword and carry the banner of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So these are the clear hadiths that Mehdi alayhi salam is going to appear from Istanbul, inshallah.
Right, Jazakumullah. Brother Ali, Jazakumullah for the very interesting discussion. We really appreciate you coming on board. Another platform, inshallah, we'll take a further look at the signs before Qiyamah, my brother. Jazakumullah once again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to you. Listeners, welcome back. It's now 2 minutes to 11 o'clock. You're tuned to Radio Islam International. Very interesting discussion regarding some signs of Qiyamah as well. We spoke initially about the unbelievable disasters recently, then the recent uprisings in the Middle East, and we talked about the corruption that will persist until the coming of Farouk in Egypt. And he mentioned regarding who the Farouk is, and we spoke about the Dajjal and a few important aspects, and also regarding the economic crisis. Alright, we conclude this program as well from Mr. Muhammad Kara fi Amanillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.